Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. Good morning to you. It is a chilly one. We'll get your complete forecast here coming up. It's going to get back into the 70s the next couple of days. Tonight, around 50 for your low. So keep that in mind. We're not done with winter just yet. We're going to say good morning to Mayor Denise Didi Henriquez, Mayor of the City of Key West. Good morning, Mayor.
Be cold Monday.
It is going to be a cold Monday, and you're going to where it's even going to be colder as well.
Yes.
I know the Northeast had that big snowstorm happening. Hopefully that will not impede travel.
I hope not. As of right now, we have the green light. So myself, the city manager, and Todd will be flying to Washington to meet with our federal lobbyists, which we haven't done with the city in quite some time. And so we're looking forward to doing exactly what we did at Florida Keys Day. We're going to do that at the federal level and meet with the congressmen and women and talk to them about Fire Station 3 and our FEMA and just a lot of the little projects that we have, and see if we could bring any money back at the federal level like we did at the state level.
Yes, well, that'll be productive. Are you going to be meeting with Congressman Jimenez possibly? Or?
Yes, we have a full lineup, and but yes, Congressman Carlos Jimenez is definitely one that we're going to be speaking with, and I will tell you, Michael, when he came down here quite some time ago, we met with him, and he, seemed like he was very interested and really wanted to help us with Fire Station 3 and getting some funding. So we're really looking forward to be able to sit down one-on-one with him and tell him what our needs are.
Well, and if anybody understands the need for fire protection and support of the fire department, it would be Carlos Jimenez.
Exactly. And that's what he told us. So that's our connection right there. And so hopefully, we'll come back and I'll be able to give you some good news next Monday.
Yeah, and we appreciate his former service as a firefighter, I believe, in Miami-Dade, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, absolutely.
Very
yes,
good.
He was.
Well, yes, you've got a busy agenda. There will be a lot of discussions, and it is always good to continue to foster and strengthen those relationships, hopefully come back with some money and some commitment. Speaking of money, we have the budget moving its way through Tallahassee. Hopefully our priorities will remain intact. The House approving its budget, but also and some negotiations yet to be done between the Senate and the governor's office, a few billion apart, but not nearly as wide a gap as last year's discussions had in play. But also property taxes and property tax, some call it relief, some call it disaster. I'm not sure which, but either way, apparently the House did approve a version of that could move forward and go on to the voters. It has yet to be heard by the Senate or the governor, but including, I think, I was just going to mention from what I heard, the possible full elimination of homestead taxes other than emergency services.
Yeah, so that's what happens in Tallahassee. You really never know until they actually go to vote. So the Florida House of Representatives did approve the amended version, which eliminates those taxes immediately as soon as January 1, 2027.
Wow.
So the original version of the HJR 203 proposed was a 10-year phase out of non-school property taxes on homesteaded primary residents. So that would have given everyone time to adjust, responsibility, and it would also not allow local governments from trimming budgets for law enforcement, firefighters, and other first responders, even though those services are largely funded by revenue from the property taxes. But so even though it passed through the House, it will still require a 3/5 majority in the Senate to make it onto the November ballot. So we'll see. Like I said, there was a bill out there for a 10-year phase out, and then there was an amendment, and that version eliminates those taxes immediately. So we'll see what it does on the Senate side, and if it passes, then it will be on the November ballot.
Well, and I think I had mentioned to our own Mayor Emeritus, Craig Cates, Commissioner, as well, about it seemed like that was off the table, that discussion. And when I spoke with him last week, he said, oh, not so fast. It's moving forward already. And we thought it was no longer the case. But wow.
Yes.
So. And I think the comment had been made by some legislators in favor of it. Well, figure out how to make do with less on a municipal level. Not so easily done.
So we're looking at that very closely. We'll see what happens on the Senate side. And then, it's up to the voters. Mm-hmm. So, I know Representative Mooney, said it'll be up to the voters to decide. And it has to be a 60% majority vote. So we'll see what, the whole state of Florida would like to see. So we're watching that very closely.
Yes, well, indeed. But we've got a lot that we can accomplish on the federal level as well over the next few days. Again, Mayor Denise Didi Enriquez, Mayor of the City of Key West, speaking with us this morning. Annual report for the city. You had made mention of that.
Yeah, so the City of Key West released now I believe that we didn't have one last year, so it released its 2024-2025 annual report. So please go out to our city's website and you'll find it on the city manager's link, and you can go on online and you can look at the report. It's about 42 pages long, but it's got a lot of great information in there. So please go out and go to our website and look at the annual report. And then also, Michael, on Tuesday, tomorrow, the HARC board is meeting. That meeting starts at 5, and there is a discussion item on the agenda in reference to the text amendment for the fence colors. Mm-hmm. So depending on what happens there, but if it's the will of the board to do a text amendment, it will then go to the planning board. If it does pass the planning board, it could either pass or it could die right there. If it dies right there, the planning board says no, then it doesn't go any further. But if it does pass the planning board, then it will go to the commission for 2 readings. And then if it passes the commission, then it will go to the Department of Commerce, which is the DOC. They have up to 60 days to approve or reject. If they approve it, then we move forward. If they reject, then it dies there as well. So I'm looking at, if it goes through all of the processes and it passes each one, it could be a minimum of 6 months before we know whether it's approved or rejected.
Oh, wow. That is quite a process. We'll continue to follow that along, though, in its developments. Again, it's Mayor Denise Didi Enriquez, Mayor of the City of Key West. We have a cleanup, as always, on Friday. We can talk about that. That's early bird cleanup at Duval and South Streets as well. That's following the Thursday meeting that we just spoke of. Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting also on Thursday. Actually, Tuesday was the HARC meeting, excuse me. So then we're moving ahead to Friday already. But early bird cleanup, we want to encourage all to participate in that as well.
Yeah, so I will tell you, these cleanups that have been happening on Fridays, the amount of volunteers that have been coming out have just been phenomenal. 2 Fridays ago, we broke records. We had 135 volunteers. Last Friday, we had 128 volunteers. It's just been wonderful to see all the volunteers come out and clean our city and make it better. So yes, the early bird cleanup starts at 8 a.m. and it's hosted by the Southernmost Beach Resort, which is at 506 South Street. We will meet in the parking lot between Simonton and Duval. So look for Lamar and the Dewey guest houses, and you'll see the big green machine there, and just try and find a parking place around there. And we look forward to everyone coming out and helping us clean our city.
Okay. And also Meet with the Mayor has been postponed for today, I'm assuming?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be here, unfortunately. Last week I did reschedule for Tuesday, but since we will be in Washington, it will not, I'll do it again next Monday.
Okay. Next Monday it is 2:00. Is that right?
That is correct. 2 to 4.
Okay. Very well. Well, safe travels to you. Anything else that we should mention before we let you get ready to get to our new airport terminal?
It's going to be cold, and I was looking at the weather yesterday, and it snowed all day in Washington yesterday. So hopefully we'll make it there safely. And but I would say, go online, look at our annual report, come to the meetings, get involved, have a voice, and just learn and see what's going on in the city.
Be engaged. Absolutely. Get
That is
involved.
correct.
You do have a voice, and the
Yep.
mayor has made it clear that she welcomes your voice and your opinion, your input. So make it
Yes.
known. Absolutely. There's many ways to do that. Go to cityofkeywest-fl.gov to find out more. Well, yes, do bundle up. My wife, Diana, is up in Pennsylvania, just a few hours from Washington, D.C. She sent me pictures yesterday with the caption, "Isn't it pretty?" My response immediately was only in pictures, but
Yes.
but do enjoy, be safe. Thank you for all that you do, and we're sure that you'll accomplish a lot in your ambassador trip there with your full complement of support staff there. But we'll talk again soon, Mayor. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great week. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Bye now. It is Mayor
Bye-bye.
Denise Didi Enriquez, Mayor of the City of Key West, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. We'll check your traffic here in just a few moments, as well as your full forecast, but it's going to be chilly, as we've been talking about. Back to a bit of a cold snap. Low will be around 50 degrees for tonight. High today, just in the mid-60s. It's Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Back in a moment.
Are you losing sleep over your IRS problems? Do you owe the IRS money, are getting audited, or have not filed all of your returns? If so, you may need help. You could call the IRS and wait on hold for a couple of hours, but they are not going to tell you all of your rights. In many cases, they just want your money. You could call a company across the country, the one with an 800 number you hear on commercials. Good luck getting them to help you with an IRS officer in South Florida. Or you could call me, Steve Klitzner. I'm a Miami attorney, and my practice is exclusively focused on helping people and businesses who have IRS problems, and I will listen to your situation and tell you my thoughts. A consultation with me is free. I will use all my powers and all my skills to help you immediately. Call me today at 305-682-1118. That's 305-682-1118.
I'm Chris Griffith from Right Size Resources. If you own or run a business, you have many things you need to focus on to be successful. Part of that is simply the basics of managing your workforce, which includes paying them, handling the taxes, workers' compensation, and benefit. It would be helpful to have an experienced partner that can help you ensure you are operating at the lowest cost and greatest efficiency. This in turn increases your profit and allows your company to focus on growth and profitability. Right Size Resources is your partner in building your best workforce management solution at no cost to you. Over 1,000 companies have saved over $20 million combined. Here's just one of our satisfied partners.
My name is Brian Hershey. I own Billy's Stone Crab in Hollywood and BSC Fisheries in Marathon Key. Right Size Resources helped us transition out of a PEO to a payroll platform during COVID, saving us significant amounts of money. I would recommend them to anyone.
Let us develop a plan that puts your company in the best financial and administrative position at no cost or risk to you. Find us at rsrsave.com or 833-45-RIGHT.
This is the Community Connection Spotlight, highlighting service organizations and initiatives in our community. Brought to you by Blue Marlin Jewelry in Islamorada and Key West. Save the date. The College of the Florida Keys 14th Annual Seaside Soiree will be held Friday, February 27th at 6 p.m. at the Islander Resort in Islamorada. A seaside soiree features costumes, fine dining, cocktails, and music. Tickets are available for purchase, and the event will also include a virtual silent auction to support the college's fundraising efforts. For tickets and more information, visit cfk.edu/soiree. That's cfk.edu/soiree. This Community Connection Spotlight is brought to you by Blue Marlin Jewelry, saluting those organizations and individuals who serve our communities. Blue Marlin Jewelry, 81549 Old Highway, Islamorada, and now at 718 Caroline Street, Key West. Online at bluemarlinjewelry.com.
Good morning, Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. It is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys, and the forecast. Well, if you are traveling to the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, and hopefully this will not affect the mayor's travel, but inclement weather has been happening there. Could cause some delays. If you're going to the Pacific Northwest, definitely they say that could happen. 60 degrees currently, on our way to 63. Sunny and windy, 25 mile per hour gusts tonight. Mostly clear, breezy, 52 tomorrow. 63 again, sunny and breezy, 20 mile per hour winds. As we approach the weekend, though, we're getting to 72 on Wednesday, 79 on Thursday. Friday, 80 degrees. How about that? It's going to rebound nicely just in time for some festivities that'll be coming our way. And we're going to speak about some of those with Dr. Jonathan Guevara, President and CEO of the College of the Florida Keys. Good morning, Dr. G.
Well, good morning to you.
Yeah.
I was listening to your weather report there, and it certainly suggests that we are going to be everything this week: windy, sunny, cool.
Yes, well, I'll tell you, if you want to pick up windsurfing, maybe, I don't know if this is a good time to do it, but there's a lot of wind on the water. It will keep some of the boats and some of the fisher people off the water just for a couple of days to get a little break. But it's going to return to the 70s, back to 80 in time for Friday. So let's talk about EDF 2005. We're going to have to unpack this a little bit. Intro to the Teaching Profession. It's a new course at the College of Florida Keys. Intro to the Teaching Profession taught this summer. So what is this about?
Well, it's not a new course per se, but
Okay.
we have had a resurgence in the desire for young people to get into the teaching profession. And in addition to that, we have had some substantial conversations with the school district, and Superintendent Tierney and I meet at least once every month, and we have been working with them for some time now because we are trying to find ways so that our young people in high school can benefit from the CTE programs that are available at the college.
Mm-hmm.
So this course came as a result of those joint conversations. There's actually a committee with employees from the college and employees from the school district that have been looking at ways that we can better support our young people. And as a result of the amount of requests from potential teachers or students who want to be teachers, we're going to offer this class this summer so that those individuals who are considering that can begin a path towards getting into the teaching profession.
Ah, what a great idea that is. There is a need for teachers ongoing, and this is a great way to fill that pipeline, so to speak. The Intro to the Teaching Profession condensed course starts June 3rd at the College of the Florida Keys, which is celebrating the 60th anniversary this year. We've been talking about it, the college continuing to celebrate the 60th anniversary, and coincidentally, America's 250th anniversary. Special events and activities throughout the academic year, including a big one coming up this week.
Correct. And we've been hosting a lot of activities around that. And this week we will have the Seaside Soiree, and the soiree event is sort of two parts. So we have the virtual auction, which we've been doing online since COVID, and then the actual party, the physical getting to see people and dance and putting on your costumes, will be at the Islander Resort in Islamorada. And we've been using that spot for the last number of years. And this will be obviously our 60th anniversary, and we will still keep the same theme of swords and tails. So we're encouraging people to wear their pirate costumes. And of course, I'd love to see you in one. And for the ladies, their mermaid costumes. And, it's a lot of fun. It's a great evening. There'll be music, there'll be dancing, we'll have food, we'll have drinks. Tickets are still available, sponsorships are still available. for those individuals and organizations that want to support the college. And, the virtual auction, which is the other piece of this, will run through the evening of the soiree, and people can go online, use their smartphone, and you can bid, and you don't have to be there to bid in the auction. So you don't have to be there. And there's quite a variety. We have adventure packages, travel experiences, dining, catering, art, jewelry, a whole lot more. I'm doing a dinner, for example, with another chef where we come to your home and we will cook for up to 12, including the wine and everything else. So, get out on there and support the college. Buy something that appeals to you and support our college, our students, our programs, because all the proceeds will benefit the students and programs.
Yeah. Well, there are going to be some wonderful auction items running live with the virtual silent auction now through February 27th, the evening of the Seaside Soiree. And Dr. G, I missed my opportunity, I guess. I was delayed in a flight last week, I guess it was. Found myself in a truck stop at about 2 a.m. outside of, just south of Miami. And coincidentally, they also sold pirate hats and swords in this particular truck stop, but I did not pick up either of those accessories in anticipation of the Seaside Soiree. So nonetheless, those are available for those who want them. We don't encourage sharp swords, just ornamental ones, of course. But that will be a wonderful event, Friday, February 27th. You did say there are tickets still available.
There are tickets still available, and our delivery service in the Keys has improved over the last couple of months. So you're not out of the woods on this.
I'm not sure if that particular truck stop caters to delivery or not, but I did get a cup of coffee. That was about all I came away with. But so the items in the silent auction, as you mentioned, are vast and impressive. Private dinner for 12 prepared by yourself and Chef Bobby Skokie, mix and match perfume creation class for 2. A lot of interactive things are on the slate this year then.
Absolutely. And, there are things that people will use, special occasion items. And, we tend to be fairly flexible when it comes to things like the experiences, like the dinners and things like that. But there's also items for people who may not be able to afford to spend $1,000 or $2,000. There are other things. So there's something there for everyone. And so I encourage people to go on.
Absolutely. All for a very good cause, supporting the College of the Florida Keys, 60th anniversary of the College of the Florida Keys in our community. And we do want to thank especially Essential Net Solutions, who I assume had a hand in making the virtual auction function and make it possible.
Yes, a huge sponsor, and they've been doing this, for a number of years now, and we definitely thank them for their support. And of course, you also for giving us the opportunity to be able to broadcast that this is available.
Yes.
And so, thank you as well, Michael, for the work that you do to help us.
Oh, well, we want to support the community at every opportunity, and the College of the Florida Keys is such a valuable asset in our community. We hope that funding continues to come your way and it continues to be a priority for the powers that be, but it always needs the community support to lift it up and continue with the critical initiatives that help CFK continue to thrive into the future, make that. So Seaside Soiree, still tickets available. It's going to be a wonderful night in Islamorada this Friday as part of the 60th anniversary celebration of the College of the Florida Keys. So I think we did cover the biggest highlights there, but you can always find out more about all that happens at the College of the Florida Keys and all that's available to you, cfk.edu.
And Michael, if I may, I would also like to, as you know, the State Board of Education met here last Friday.
Yes.
I believe it was Friday. And, it's always a delight to have our state level folks take time to come down and meet in our community. And as I said to them during my opening remarks, it took, 10 years for me lobbying to get him here the first time. And then once they realized that we are such a wonderful community, I didn't have to ask them the second time. But I also want to thank the folks who came out. Some people brought written remarks and others spoke. Kerry Baker in particular from the chamber got up there and not only talked about the importance of our school district having the ability to determine what time our kids should be in school, but she also made the board very aware of the importance of the college in our community. And so I want to thank her and other folks. I know Chef Warren Limard, Heidi Golightly, and several others, Sue Woltansky, Sheldon Suga, who submitted comments to the state board regarding the benefit of the work that we do in education. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yes.
Thank you for.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. All of those people, tremendous advocates of the College of the Florida Keys and Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce, always uplifting and supporting education in our community. So thanks to Carrie and her staff for doing that. It is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys, speaking with Dr. Jonathan Guevara, President and CEO, College of the Florida Keys. Anything else we should mention before we let you go, sir?
Just real quickly that, we continue to expand opportunities in the Upper Keys. We had our second annual community day up there, and we recognized the Ocean Reef Foundation for its stellar work in supporting the college. We went from 58 students up there now to 216. So we continue to expand throughout the Keys. And that benefit is seen by our community. And for those who aren't aware, in the most recent update that the state submitted, our graduates are outpacing Florida college system college graduates at an annual salary of $57,000 per year compared to 45 or 46 for the other colleges' averages.
Oh, very impressive. Very impressive indeed.
Yeah.
Well, many accomplishments that we will continue to talk about and highlight throughout the 60th anniversary year and beyond of the College of the Florida Keys. Looking forward to seeing you, sir. Please do set your expectations of my disguise and costume quite low. That would be helpful. But I look forward to seeing you on Friday.
I will set the expectations low, but I will have some costumes that I can have you try on when you get there. How's that?
I can't wait. Very good. Well, we will swashbuckle together then, indeed. So
there you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. See you soon. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. No major incidents to report up and down US 1. We'll continue in just a moment with more of Good Morning Keys.
Hey, Key West. Danny Hughes here from Two Friends. Really from Two Friends. So Maura and I were sitting at breakfast in the bar listening to live music at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. She's about to enjoy some huevos rancheros and me shrimp and grits with fried oysters. Heart healthy. And Maura says, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. It was perfect because we didn't move here because Key West is like a lot of other places. We moved here because it isn't like any other place on earth. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends. 512 Front Street in Old Town Key West or twofriends.com.
Mount Sinai's expert urology team is now in Key West and Marathon. When it comes to your urological health, you need quality care and convenient access close to home. Make an appointment with the most experienced urologist in the Keys, specializing in both men's and women's urological conditions. Call 305-674-CARE or visit msmc.com to schedule in Key West or Marathon. That's msmc.com or 305-674-CARE.
The Greenhouse. Have you been there yet? We even spell it with 3 E's to help you smile when you say it. That's our goal. We carry the largest selection of hemp-derived THC and CBD products in Monroe County. If you've been taking medication for anxiety, depression, inflammation, lack of sleep, or muscle and joint pain and it's just not working, or you don't like the side effects, we can help. If you're looking to chill, relax, escape, focus, or even break out into euphoric fits of laughter, we can help there too. No medical card is needed. You just have to be 21 or over. Our 3 locations are open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. In Key West, we're at 431 Front Street, just in front of Mallory Square. In Marathon, you can find us at mile marker 52 at 10875 Overseas Highway. In Key Largo, we're at 99304 Overseas Highway in the middle of the road. Swing on by, share your goals with us, and we'll recommend a product to help you reach them. And we back our recommendations with a 100% money-back guarantee. The Greenhouse. Stop on by and find out what the buzz is all about today.
Visit one of the 12 locations of the Greenhouse, including 9 in the Keys and featuring their newest store at 3128 North Roosevelt, Key West.
Keys Auto Center, the Keys hometown dealership.
Hey folks, Stephen Bender at Keys Auto Center, home of the Keys local deal match guarantee on all in-stock new Cadillacs, Chevrolets, and GMCs on the boulevard. And right now, it's the biggest inventory we've ever had of Silverado, Sierras, and the Chevy Trax. Confidence comes standard from the people you know, like, and trust at 3500 North Roosevelt Boulevard or KeysAutoCenter.com. We've got the keys.
Everybody need is here at Keys Auto Center.
This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And good morning to you. It is 8:41. We'll be checking in with Sheriff Rick Ramsey here in just a few moments. Busy weekend this past weekend. Hopefully you had a good one. We'll a number of news stories to get to with the sheriff here in just a little while. Also checking your traffic, though, up and down US 1. No major incidents to report on this morning. That is good news. We are in the midst of our cold snap, though. 63 degrees, currently sunny and windy, up to 25-mile-per-hour winds today. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 52. Breezy, winds around 20. Tomorrow, sunny, high near 63 and breezy. For Wednesday, mostly sunny, high near 72. Thursday, high near 79, mostly sunny. Friday, slight chance of showers, high near 71. It was a busy one also, as I mentioned, especially in the Upper Keys. Traffic was pretty substantial, but controlled as best was possible because it was the big to-do. It was the big, the nautical market, the gigantic nautical market hosted by the Upper Keys Rotary Club, another big success, and making possible tens of thousands of dollars to deserving high school students in the Upper Keys provided by the Upper Keys Rotary. So thanks to all those who took part in that and attended, tens of thousands of people in attendance there. And we had a water main break over the weekend too, up near Ocean Key. We also have a story from the Aqueduct Authority that a majority of Islamorada now has a new, larger water main in the ground from T-Table Relief at mile marker 79.5. Contractors for Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority began placing the 36-inch diameter steel pipes in 2023 to replace the aged line. Working their way through Upper Matacumbe and Windley Keys, crews recently finished several miles of new water transmission from the southern end of Plantation Key at Snake Creek Bridge to Tavernier Creek Bridge. They placed more than 10 miles of new transmission into the ground in the last 3 years. Cost about $10 million per mile, but it will be robust long into the future. So congratulations to the Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority being able to complete that. And also, we were just checking, where did that go? So we're getting some reports, too, about movement on Jimmy Buffett's former studio, Shrimp Boat Sound. And it looks like that will be overseen by the Spotswoods family, and they will be working to develop that into a new attraction as well as a working studio. So we'll have more details on that one. Also a thriller as the U.S. did beat Canada in overtime at the Olympics, taking gold. The U.S. is now on top of the hockey world for the first time in nearly half a century. Jack Hughes scoring the 1 minute 41 second overtime goal, U.S. defeating Canada 2-1. Jack Hughes originally from the Orlando area, and a lot of state politicians are claiming him as their own. The nation's third men's title at the games and the first since the Miracle on Ice on 1980 for gold medal for the hockey team. People were out in mass around town and around the Keys watching the U.S. take the gold. I saw a lot of Canadian tourists walking around in their Canadian maple leaf shirts as well, looking a little bit forlorn at the end of that game. But lots of people were at the bars early cheering on Team USA as they beat Canada in overtime. What a thriller that was, and a great moment for our country, very befitting during the 250th anniversary of our country. Well, you know, it's always a good time to take a break at Old Town Bakery. Take a bakery break. Why not? It's a good way to celebrate the gold, celebrate any moment at Old Town Bakery, where they have fresh baked goods each and every morning. Pastries, brownies, cookies, award-winning pies, now quiche with, ham and cheese quiche, as well as spinach feta mushroom varieties. Get it by the slice, freshly made, and you can get a whole pie. Give them 24 hours, please notice, so they can make it fresh for you. Everything is baked starting at 1 a.m. and fresh each and every day. It is delectable. And those oven-baked breads, they make those into fresh sandwiches just for you as well. Go to the corner of Eaton and Grinnell to the historic Old Town Bakery, where the bakery is still the heart of the neighborhood, just like you remember it from way back when. And they are still there as the heart of Old Town at Old Town Bakery. You can also order ahead for pickup or delivery, oldtownbakerykeywest.com, or stop in and get the full experience. Get some gift cards for your friends. Take a whole platter back of sandwiches for your office or your next get-together for your family, whatever it might be. Take them out on the boat. You will not be disappointed. And your dog will want to keep coming back again and again. They get bacon every time they visit Old Town Bakery. Old Town Bakery, corner of Eaton and Grinnell, Old Town Key West, and online, oldtownbakerykeywest.com. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys, and we will return with more of Good Morning Keys in just a moment.
The hottest spot in the Keys to tantalize your taste buds is Central Duval, featuring 3 locations built for the local community and also welcoming new friends warmly. First, get ready for the ultimate Key West experience at the Key West Emporium, 618 Duval Street. It's the largest and most versatile spot in town with mouth-watering food and island-inspired cocktails from Key West's top-ranked restaurant, Kaya Island Eats. Next, check out Dragon and Rooster at 626 Duval Street, bringing the vibrant, bold flavors of Asia to the heart of Key West. Grab a quick bowl of ramen or indulge in their thoughtfully curated prefix tasting menu. Every visit promises to be an adventure for your senses. And Docks on Duval, 702 Duval Street, is a toast to Old Key West with a twist of cowboy charm. Savory barbecue, southern-inspired favorites, and fresh local seafood await inside a family-friendly restaurant. Hit up one of these great establishments or try all 3. Good times and great food await at Central Duval.
Step back in time. Step back into Old Town. Step into Old Town Bakery with fresh baked treats like pastries, cookies, brownies, and fresh breads made every morning. Enjoy hot and cold, delicious ground coffee, always brewing, and handcrafted breakfast and lunch sandwiches made to order on oven fresh breads. And now, Old Town Bakery features spinach mushroom feta quiche and ham and cheese quiche, delectable for breakfast or lunch by the slice. Get a whole quiche pie by ordering in store with 24 hours advance notice. Enjoy new cream-filled croissants with chocolate or vanilla filling and award-winning fresh baked pies, including their key lime pie, voted the best in the Keys. Pick up their unique Old Town Bakery t-shirts for a friend or yourself and give the gift of deliciousness with a gift card available for purchase in store. And their catering menu is available to make that next event memorable. Old Town Bakery on the corner of Eaton and Grinnell. Stop in or order online. oldtownbakerykeywest.com. The choice of a doctor is a personal one. The choice of your gynecologist is even more personal. Dr. George Peterson has been honored to provide trusted gynecological care for generations of women in the Florida Keys Keys for more than 30 years. While he has retired from obstetrics, Dr. Peterson is continuing with gynecological services for existing and new patients. Dr. Peterson guides them through medical care that can be complex and confusing at times, whether it's related to conception, sexual health and wellness, infertility, or menopause. And he continues to be a trusted caregiver for circumcisions. Dr. Peterson has been alongside his patients for 3 decades to ensure that they receive needed screenings for breast, cervical, and ovarian cancer. And the practice has expanded to provide a wide range of medical aesthetic treatments. Keys Med Spa, 5450 McDonald Avenue, Stock Island. Phone number 305-293-9555. And online at keysmedspa.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. George Peterson. I'll be honored to help you with your medical needs as I have done for the last 30 years.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys, and a brisk morning. We're going to have some brisk temperatures and brisk wind as well next few days. Getting back to 80, though, on Friday, so that'll be very nice. We're going to say good morning to Sheriff Rick Ramsey, joining us from, it sounds like, the highways this morning, and no major incidents being reported so far up and down US 1. Good morning to you, Sheriff.
A nice little drop in temperature. I think it's probably the last cold front we're going to have, but it's a little different from one day to the next day, how things change from Sunday to Monday.
Yeah, it is that time of the year, but it creates a little bit of variety before we get into consistently warm weather. But that's all right. We had beautiful weather for the gigantic nautical market. I was talking about that earlier. Great attendance. You had forewarned everybody that they could have some traffic delays. Please be patient. That was the case, but your personnel managed it very well, and it allowed people to get to the nautical market to support the Upper Keys Rotary and to also support scholarships in our community. Another very, very successful event there in Islamorada.
It was a fabulous event. The weather was great. The turnout was just epic. It was, what we expected. We had traffic delays. We had some backups of traffic north and south, which is what we anticipated. But my troops did a really good job. We got a really good plan in place to do very little stopping in traffic and move people across in groups. I think this is probably the most successful year to have the least amount of traffic backups and keep traffic flowing relatively good considering what we had going on. I went to the event myself. It was a beautiful event. Again, great stuff. About 400 vendors. Upper Keys Rotarians, Rotary clubs do such a great job, as you said, to do this as a fundraiser for children for their scholarship programs. Over the years, they've raised over $4 million in scholarship monies for kids in our community. So such a great event, economic opportunities, bringing in money to the communities, Islamorada and elsewhere. So just a really, really fun event. Obviously, it does have adverse impacts on traffic, but we got to find that balance. And I think overall it was very successful. Nobody got hurt. That's always a plus. Saturday, while trying to keep traffic flowing, around 11 o'clock in the morning, we had a Florida Keys Aqueduct Authority water main break at the 91-mile marker in front of Mariner in the medium.
Yeah.
So that caused us more problems while we had a very heavy traffic day as it was. We had to deal with that as we had both north and southbound lanes flooded. You and your listeners may have seen a traffic advisory went out from the sheriff's office in our app trying to warn people with a picture and video what we were dealing with. So we already had manpower allocation stretched between general patrols, Islamorada, market going on, and we had to bring in 4 off-duty detail officers right away to try to do manual traffic control with the hazards of the water and the utility services coming in with heavy equipment to dig up the pipe and repair. It was about a 12-hour repair project. So it was, crisis management 101 for the sheriff's office. And, we had to, like always, whatever problems arise, we have to be part of the solution and try to mitigate and try to do the best we can for our citizens.
Yes. Well, and your personnel did a great job. I was at the nautical market on Saturday as well. And the traffic to be expected was a little inconvenient, but all for a great cause. And the market was phenomenal. So thanks to your personnel and thanks to the Upper Keys Rotary for making that all happen. Again, Sheriff Rick Ramsey, Sheriff from Monroe County, with us on Good Morning Keys this week, and also featured the children's fishing tournament hosted by the Sheriff's Office. Another great success. A lot of happy kids, all for a great cause there, too.
Again, our Rotary clubs, our Rotarians, stepping forward, partnering up. This is the event with the Rotary Club, the Sheriff's Office, our community leaders. It all comes together with our leaders in the community, volunteering services, providing services. Dunkin' Donuts brought out hundreds of donuts for the kids for free. So Centennial Bank was out there cooking hot dogs for the kids. Taking care of that. We had our local marinas and fish places and doing stuff with rods and reels, and jigs, bait, and tackle is always so good to us. And we can just go on and on, all the services that show up there to help provide, donate stuff, prize it, bikes. But again, this is something we're so proud of. This thing we had, 250 kids. Every kid comes out, gets a free fishing rod and reel, bait, food. I was out there as well. What a beautiful day. Parents are out there with the kids, already laughing, having a good time, interacting with your families. Something we need to do probably a little bit more. But what a fabulous day. I want to thank my team members at the Sheriff's Office. I had a whole group of team members out there to make sure the event was safe and secure, with traffic flowing, making sure the kids are safe, volunteering, helping wherever they need to get done. Can't say enough. Steve Miller, he's such an icon with this program. But everyone's out there. Everyone's doing it. And our goal is one thing: make sure these kids have a great, safe day, and building these relationships with these younger generation, making sure they know that we are the good guys and gals, making sure they have fun. And a lot of these kids, most of these kids have never, ever fished. This is the first time for them to have a fishing rod and be out there. So maybe we're instilling these kids to want to be a commercial fisherman or fish one day. And, the excitement in these kids' faces is just second to none. You got to feel so good about being part of something so great.
Yeah, well, it does instill all the right values and also gives them a further respect and relationship with the Sheriff's Office and law enforcement as well. So all for a great cause. And yes, thank you to Steve Miller and the Rotary Clubs, Lower Keys Rotary Club, for putting that on as well. So we had a busy week, busy weekend with events that you were in attendance as always and supporting, but also we had a busy week with law enforcement, starting with the 22-year-old Islamorada man arrested after hitting a family member with a broom, threatening her with a knife. Luckily, no life-threatening injuries were reported, but that individual was taken to jail.
Yeah, we got called in the Islamorada area to a domestic disturbance, involving a male, female, family, relatives. We get on scene or separate the parties. We get witnesses trying to figure out who did what's going on. Female's got some injuries. We check on her medical condition. We report from the victim is that the suspect in this case armed himself with a broom and a knife and hit her multiple times with a broom and threatened her with a knife. She had minor injuries consistent with her statements of being hit with this broom multiple times. We ultimately determined that the battery did occur. We ultimately determined that the male was the aggressor with the broom and the knife. And ultimately, we did arrest him for these battery assault charges. So we're glad it wasn't worse, but it definitely was could have gone worse when you put a knife into an argument.
Yeah, it does escalate it very quickly, and that is something that we always tell people we should avoid escalation, even with arguments, but that's what got these folks into trouble. We also had a drug case, too, a fairly major one, about 40 grams of cocaine, if I'm not mistaken, netted in this stop, which took place, and I was going to get the details on that one, but let's see. Yes, it was Orlando man. Yeah, 40 grams of cocaine near in a traffic stop up on US 1.
Yeah, this started in the Islamorada area, around the 74 mile marker area. This person was seen in a parking lot of a convenience store, which was described as handling a decent amount of drugs. Reported to us. We did find a vehicle. We attempted to stop it. We eventually stopped the vehicle. we did identify this 22-year-old male from Orlando. In subsequent to a search of the vehicle later on, we did discover over 40 grams of cocaine. Such a volume that it met the criteria for trafficking cocaine. So ultimately, we did arrest him for trafficking cocaine, did seize the drugs, get the drugs off the streets, towed his car away. And just another day in the life of the sheriff's office. You never know what you're going to come across of. And, you get called about suspicious activity in a parking lot with potential drugs, and it turns out to be true. And in fact, as described by a witness.
Yeah. Well, and again, the community stepping forward and helping with law enforcement to investigate and pursue, some events that could be suspicious. And indeed, this one was the case, and that individual taken to jail. Another individual from Blue Point, New York, arrested on the 18th of February, exposing himself, urinating while yelling at resort staff and guests. That individual charged with indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, happened at the Ocean's Edge Resort and Marina on Stock Island about 7:45 at night. And he was later found Maloney Drive area. He ran from deputies, but was again taken to jail.
Yeah, Michael, it's drunk and stupid, alcohol influenced poor decisions, down here on vacation, 50-year-old male, a nice resort restaurant area. There showing his ass and causing disturbance, and decided to drop his pants and urinate in the restaurant. Had a bottle, threw a bottle down, broke the bottle. Elected to go to some other part of the property as well and take his pants down and start to urinate there. So we had multiple calls about this individual for indecent exposure, for disorderly intoxication, and his conduct. As we got there, he had left the scene. A short time later, we did find him close by, and as soon as the patrol car went near him to try to stop him, he took off running, started running, jumped the fence, but we ultimately got him, and got him in custody, brought him back, verified this was the individual, and ultimately we did charge him with multiple counts of violations of law between indecent exposures and disorderly intoxications and his conduct. So it's stupid is, this is a poor alcohol influenced decisions, decisions based of if you can't hold your alcohol, then don't drink or know your limitations. So you're down on vacation, you're going to have to come back and deal with these court cases and have court appearances. And in the day, you're going to be on probation here in Florida. So it's just stupid is, but again, this is what we deal with. This is our job, security.
Yep. Well, come on vacation, leave on probation, as you often say. And there's another instance.
That's right.
Yep. Another instance where this guy made poor decisions and they lead to consequences. And so he will be facing the music there. A 38-year-old Big Coppet woman arrested for stealing a $40,000 gold chain. That is not insignificant by any means, stolen from an adult male victim while the victim was in jail. So she was an opportunist there. Detectives assisted state probation officers with a search of a residence where she was found and arrested for stealing that gold chain. So the investigation of the gold chain theft is still ongoing. More charges could be pending there.
Yeah, the price of gold is so much these days. A large necklace can be pretty valuable pretty quickly. This is an estimated value of $40,000 necklace. The owner of the necklace, yes, is residing in Monroe County Jail at the Double R Bed and Breakfast. And while in our accommodations, she's aware of this necklace. These two were known to each other, known acquaintances. Were one time apparently friends, and she knew about this necklace and knew he was in jail. So she elected to take the opportunity to retrieve his necklace and steal it. She did steal it. We became aware of it and investigated it, and ultimately probation as well was involved. The necklace was found, located, recovered in her possession, her property, and she ultimately was arrested as well for the grand theft charges. So the necklace has been recovered for the victim who's sitting in Monroe County Jail. It doesn't matter if you're in jail or not. If you're a victim of crime, we're still going to provide services and try to solve crime and hold people accountable, even if it's criminal on criminal, it doesn't matter. Crime is important for us to identify and solve and hold people accountable no matter what. But yeah, so she's, going to be violated. Probation is going to violate her probation, and she's got more criminal charges pending on her. So apparently not a really good person. Has got a lot of time in the judicial system, on the wrong side of the judicial system, and is just tying up citizens' time, money, effort, and resources to keep on dealing with her, incarcerate her, hold her. And but that's okay. That's part of our jobs, and we're going to hope that one day maybe she'll see the light and stop doing dumb stuff. And if she does, that's great. That's a success. If she doesn't, then we'll continue to have plenty of room for her at MCJ.
Yeah, indeed. Sheriff Rick Ramsey, Sheriff of Monroe County, with us on Good Morning Keys. And also more bad decisions continuing that affect others, including a 2-year-old child found wandering on US 1 after a Key Largo woman was apparently not supervising this child. That woman was consequently arrested. Deputies found the child's residence nearby with the front door open, no one inside. The home appeared dirty, disheveled. She arrived shortly thereafter, stated she only intended to be gone for a few minutes. Those few minutes, though, turned into the child wandering along US 1. Luckily, sheriff's deputies were on the scene. Department of Children and Family Services notified, and that individual taken to jail.
Yeah, this was wee hours of the morning. We thank a Good Samaritan for calling us again on this case. This is like 5:50 in the morning about the 101 mile marker, Tarpon Basin. It's still dark out. Motorist driving down the road. She's a small child, about a 2-year-old child in pajamas with no shoes, walking right along the edge of the road. You know, this child would have been just a foot or two more to the left. Child would have been in the highway, would have been struck and killed. You know, the mother, a 31-year-old female, I believe a single mother, left this child at home to go run some errands and unattended. This is exactly why you cannot do this. A couple minutes could be the difference between life and death in this situation. So we did respond to the scene, recover this child, eventually figured out where this child lived, went back to the house. As you indicated on our reports, the house was dirty, disheveled, not in a good, safe condition for a child, we don't believe. We did contact our friends in DCF to respond. DCF did come out, assess the home, assess the situation, and we arrested the mother for child neglect. DCF agreed to the child being turned over to the grandmother. And, you know, we hope this mother can get her stuff together, you know, and be a better mother. And this is going to occur because of DCF intervention, Sheriff's Office intervention, the state attorney, the courts. Everyone's going to make sure that, you know, part of her arrest is going to be an action plan for parenting and some oversight from DCF and the courts to make sure she's doing better. Yeah. So that's what we want. And we don't want to take children from parents, but sometimes in situations, we want parents to be better parents. Yeah. You know, and the difference could be whether a child lives or dies. And that's, you know, we got to be more worried about the child.
Yep, and you're protecting the citizens and especially those who are defenseless, such as 2-year-old children. Definitely need advocates and protection as well. So, Sheriff, it was a very busy week last week, a very busy weekend. I know your time is very valuable, and I don't want to keep you too much longer here. We did have a double fatality accident just late last week as well, up near Cart Sound Road as well. So we were sorry and very saddened to hear about that.
Yeah, that was sad, unfortunate. I think it was 2 miles onto the Dade County side of a Cart Sound Road. Yeah. So, you know, it turns into Monroe County, County Road 905, which intersects with Dade and turns into Cart Sound past Alabama Jacks. Yeah. 2 miles into the Dade County side, we were contacted by Miami-Dade County Sheriff's Office for mutual aid about a car crash involving a fatality. And that need to shut that road down, divert all traffic to US 1. So we responded to the incident as well to help aid and assist our friends in Miami-Dade. But unfortunately, 2 people did perish. That's a very dangerous road. You know, it's people speed because there's very little enforcement, especially on the Dade side. The Monroe side is in pretty good shape. Monroe County has a pretty good road system, you know, and it's maintained and patrolled. The Dade side isn't patrolled very well. They're just so busy up there. And the Dade side, the road is very narrow, very bumpy, poor condition, no real shoulders. When you drop off from the pavement to the gravel, sometimes it's a sudden deep drop. People overcorrect when they jerk the wheel. Over the years, we've seen a lot of bad crashes out there, cars, flips, motorcycles. If you're out there, if anybody's been driven out there, like most of you, our listeners probably have, You got cars blown past you, driving crazy, recklessly. It's a dangerous road, and it's unfortunate. But per capita, that road is probably one of the deadliest roads there is for area stretch of road.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Well, people hopefully heed your warnings when they go through that area. And then finally, want to congratulate the members who were named. Well, Officer of the Year award ceremony happened in Marathon on Friday. And in attendance, it looks like reserve member of the quarter, John McGee. McGee, also support member of the quarter, Juliana Castillo, and detention deputy of the quarter, Andrew Valencia, all being recognized as you continue to recognize exemplary service in the sheriff's office.
You know, Michael, we got so many great men and women, and it's hard to pick the particular one person of the year, but, you know, in a day is our peers. Their peers make these selections. And Jenna Moeller did not make it because she was out, but that's the law enforcement deputy sheriff of the year. But once a year we get together, and it is important to recognize these outstanding employees in front of their peers and family and friends. They surely know that we do appreciate the service, what they're doing each and every day in the various bureaus of law enforcement, bureaus of corrections, bureau of support services, you know, our reserve programs. And I'm just proud of these men and women, proud to be part of this agency, and it's just a great day for us all to get together and celebrate other team members.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your service. Thank you for the service of all of your members, and congratulations to those exemplary members of your entire team. And thanks to Centennial Bank for the continued support of Monroe County Sheriff's Office. With that, sir, unless there's anything else, we should let you go. We have we don't want to overstay our welcome. You've got a busy morning to get to, but we had a busy week to talk about last week. Anything else, sir?
Just one last thing was a crash that took place over the weekend on the water. We also dealt with a marine crash. We helped aid and assist our friends in FWC, United States Coast Guard, Bayside, about the 90-mile marker thereabouts. The daytime, good conditions. There was a single vessel, center console, single motor with multiple people on board, on plane. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't see a marker, but there was a channel marker next to a telephone pole, which had some wire cables going out there, clearly visible. Some reason the operator of the boat must not have been paying attention. It looks like to me, last minute, probably saw the pole and maybe tried to make a quick evasive maneuver, turned to the right. The boat, it was so close, the pole smashed into the left rear of the vessel. The vessel looked to be about a 25, 26-foot center console, best I could tell for some pictures. It struck it so hard, it ejected all the people out of the boat into the water, and the pole actually wound up sitting in the very middle of the boat behind the rocket launcher seat. Then we saw the pictures. It was stunning. Some good Samaritans came up and rescued the people who were thrown in the water. Some injuries, there was multiple injuries. 2 were severe and critical that we had to bring in Trauma Star. And Trauma Star in that area would have landed at the Founders Park, but it was all set up for the gigantic nautical flea market. So we had to do an alternate landing zone at Coral Shores High School. So we appreciate the school board for being a good friend, letting us use those fields for these emergency situations. The bad thing was they had a high school game going on. I think it was a lacrosse game maybe. Okay. And they had to stop the lacrosse game, get the players off the fields, onto the stands, while we had to land Trauma Star in the middle of the field and bring in our friends in fire rescue with 2 critical patients. So we keep the helicopter running. So the fans had an amazing experience to see this big trauma helicopter come in, the rotor blades running, fire rescue units coming in, loading 2 critical patients on board the ship, and then the ship taking off to go to Jackson Ryder Trauma Center. So, you know, glad the program is there to save these lives.
Absolutely.
You know, it was probably a really good show for the people who were in the stands at this game to see this. It's something we're probably going to talk about for months. But again, you know, it's dangerous out there boating. You got to pay attention when operating a vessel at all times. We don't think there's any alcohol involved. We just think it was operator error. And again, it was horrific. If you saw the pictures, they were stunning.
Yes.
But again, partnerships I always talk to you about. Partnership helping out FWC, U.S. Coast Guard, Sheriff's Office, Fire Rescue, Trauma Star Air Medical Program. It shows that the 911 dispatch center who receives the call and gets people going, that the system here works. It works because we're working together, and it is efficient and effective. but I'm proud of all the parties involved to be good team players to the MCSO family.
Yes, well, that interagency cooperation that has been developed over the years is shown to work time and time again in times of need. So thank you to all involved there. Well, Sheriff, with that, we should let you get to your busy day. We look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Please be safe, and thank you so much for your service and leadership.
Thank you for everything, your friendship and partnership, Michael, and your listeners. Have a good day, everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sheriff Fred Ramsey with us. Sheriff from Monroe County, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And we now do join Glenn Beck.